In Andhra Pradesh, TDP leader and son of Chandrababu Naidu, Nara Lokesh, has just concluded a massive padyatra across the state. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo story. Our focus today is on Andhra Pradesh, where there has been a massive padyatra that has been undertaken by Nara Lokesh, the young leader of the TDP, also son of former Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, who has been embattled recently as he battles allegations of corruption. Nara Lokesh is arguing that through his mass contact program, he is going to ensure that Jagan Reddy loses the next election, which is only just a few months away. But is he on sound political footing? And what is the story of the red book that he reportedly carries with him through this padyatra? Can his father come out clean? And could Nara Lokesh be looking for his party to join hands with the BJP once again? Lots of questions as we introduce our newsmaker on the program today. Lokesh is with us. Thank you so much for your time. Let me start by asking you, there's been a big padyatra that you have concluded across the state, more than 225 days, 226, I think, to be precise, that concluded earlier this week. What did you learn? What did you pick up on this journey across your state?
Thank you, Barkha, for having me. Fundamentally, the Yuvagalam Padyatra started off as a platform for youth to express, their opinion on the government. And what it turned out is that, people from across cross sections. So it could be the women, it could be youth, it could be, building workers, auto mechanics, government employees, police. There's a lot of dissatisfaction across board. So this Padyatra became a platform for them to express their opinions against the government, number one. Number two, it gave me a great opportunity to understand my state at a 0 feet level. Because Andhra Pradesh has Rayalaseema, South Andhra and North Andhra, and the problems are quite different. In fact, problems from one parliament to the other parliament are extremely different. So this Padyatra helped me connect back to the public, understand what are the challenges that they're facing, and actually, sort of take all their problems, understand them much better, and make it part of our manifesto that we just announced.
But tell me this, your father has been embattled. He has been accused of corruption. You have repeatedly said that he only emulated a model that has also been deployed in other states. But the allegations are quite serious. They basically involve favoring two tech firms, basically dispersing more than 300 crore rupees without proper procedure and against objections raised by bureaucrats on their files. On what basis are you going to talk about a change when Mr. Naidu, your father, is mired in these serious corruption allegations? He's been to jail, he's out on bail. What's the plan?
It's nothing but regime revenge. See, Mr. Naidu has done various reforms. He's been a chief minister for 15 years. He's been a leader of opposition for 15 years. Now they create some trumped up charges on a skill development corporation. And the entire file, if you look at the signatures, the release of the funds was done by the officials. I clearly state that there was no corruption involved. In fact, this government first stated that there's a 3,000 crore scam. Then they said a 370 crore scam. Now they're saying a 27 crore scam. That the money came to party accounts. Where is the proof? It's nothing but regime revenge. And please understand that that's not the only case. They have filed 4 other cases on random things. And I'll give an example. The new case is on sand policy given by the erstwhile government. Erstwhile government gave a free sand policy that where people only need to pay money for transportation. So they're saying that resulted in loss to the exchequer, and they filed a case against Mr. Naidu. So it's very clear that it's nothing but regime revenge, and this is Jagan trying to prove one-upmanship using the state machinery, nothing more.
But you said that the value of the scam keeps changing. The 371 crores that I referred to is only the initial amount that is alleged to have been given to one of the technology firms. Your father was talking about a kind of upskilling sort of model. But then the charge is A, that tenders were not issued, B, that officials objected and they objected on file and he overrode those objections, and C, that there were shell companies to which this money was siphoned off. How do you respond specifically to these accusations?
Yeah, fundamentally, this is a project where 10% comes from the 90% comes in aid and grant. The aid and grant is where technology and the discounts of various partners come into place. So this is an exact model that was implemented by the Gujarat state government when Narendra Modi ji was the chief minister. Subsequent to Andhra Pradesh, many other states have actually implemented the exact same model. Number one. Number two, the money was released by the officials, where I have a report and I can share it with you, where it clearly states that we should release the money after they visited the project in Gujarat and they've seen it. And they said to retain interests of all parties, let's release the money. So that's done. Now let's come to what has happened in the field. 2,15,000 people have been trained, 85,000 people have been placed, gainfully employed, and all the centers of excellence and all the nodes where the training was supposed to happen actually happened. The equipment is there. All the nuts and bolts that were part of the agreement exist. It's all there. You can feel it, you can see it. Kids were trained. So where is the scam? When the total money released is attuned to close to 300 odd crores. How can 300 odd crores be a scam? Number one. Number two, they claim a GST evasion. Now, please tell me this. If there is a GST evasion, how is it the chief minister is responsible? And the irony of the entire thing, the officer who released the funds, one Mr. Prem Chandra Reddy, is not investigated. He's not one of the accused. But then Mr. Naidu magically becomes the accused, and he's accused number 37. And for the last, it's now been close to 4 months that Mr. Naidu has been arrested. And of course, Mr. Naidu is now out on bail. Where is the evidence? Where have they been able to prove that here is the mistake? You can accuse Mr. Naidu of one thing, that he insisted the project be executed at lightning speed. Because that's one of our manifesto
So
promise.
no regrets about how this was handled?
Absolutely not. If that is the case, then I was the minister in his government. Close to 25,000 kilometers of CC road was laid in a war footing basis. Then being efficient cannot be held against us. And that's exactly what's happening right now in the state.
What
Nothing but regime revenge.
What is Mr. Naidu's state of mind, given these allegations, given his time in jail?
Strong. No, he's absolutely strong. He's come out even stronger. He's quite clear that he's not going to let false allegations stop him. And tomorrow is the major Sabha, and the first time that he's going to address a very mass gathering at the culmination of the Yuvagalam padyatra, and he's going to come out much, much stronger than he actually was when he went in.
Okay, the court will have the final say on those corruption allegations. But since you spoke about regime revenge, there are reports that through this padyatra and otherwise, you have a red book. And in this red book, you too have your notings on people, on names of people who you believe have been unfair to you, that your moment of revenge will also come. What is the truth of this red book?
No, this red book is where I have the names of the officers who have broken the law, harassed people, and harassed party workers. So there are IPS officers who didn't let Mr. Naidu go to his own constituency. How is that even fair? The Constitution of India is not being implemented in the state. We are unable to come out and protest on the streets because the police come and tie a rope to our gates. And if we jump over the gates, then they falsely put cases against us. So any official who has broken the law, they'll have to face the music. There will be a judicial inquiry. And we want to take it to a logical conclusion. And the red book is merely aimed at writing those names, documenting all those names. And we will expose it.
When you say it documents the names of officers who have broken the law, are you planning, therefore, your own revenge? Are you saying when you come into power, this red book will be weaponized against certain state officials today?
Barkha, it's very unfair to say that's regime revenge. The point is they have broken the law. No, they have broken the law. Right? So when someone's broken the law, we'll establish that the law was broken. We'll follow due process and ensure that law takes its own course. I'm not falsely implicating anyone here. I'm not falsely implicating any politician here. I'm saying officials who broke the law, they'll have to face the music. And there are people who broke the law. Mr. Naidu, as I said, was not allowed to go to his own constituency. I mean, they have not implemented the constitution that was written by Ambedkar ji. They have their own constitution. Come up with random frameworks to stop people from doing what they're supposed to do, and public servants from discharging their duty.
What are you taking to the people that is distinctive from Jagan Reddy's party? Mr. Jagan Reddy also talks about, putting cash directly in the accounts of the poor. You today are also talking about welfareism. The state's financial condition isn't quite kosher. What is your USP today?
No, today, if you look at our Super 6, the guarantees that we've given to public, one of the major one is actually named under Yuvagalam. And in there, we clearly state that we're going to create 20 lakh jobs. both in the private, public, and self-employment. With these three models, we're going to create 20 lakh jobs. And in order for us to create 20 lakh jobs, we have to create massive infrastructure, economic zones, give power at a much lower price, and sort of kickstart the entire state economy that's come to a grinding halt because of policies of the current administration. So that's one of our cornerstone of the 6 promises that we have given.
But does the
So
state
Telugu
have the
Desam
funds? Does the state exchequer have the funds for this?
Well, see, Barkha, if you look at our past history of Telugu Desam Party, people always remember Telugu Desam Party when they go through tough times. Today, public of Andhra Pradesh are going through tough time. So that's why they all want to now come out and support TDP in big numbers. We have a history of creating wealth, creating cities like Cyberabad. That's our cornerstone of Telugu Desam Party's historical journey. So we have a history. We have done it in the past. We will do it again. So there are various models. There are PPP models. There are land pooling models. There are unique models to actually kickstart the entire development.
What's the one thing that makes the TDP distinct today from Jagan Reddy's Congress?
Well, Telugu Desam Party stands for both welfare and development. And the development wheel drives the welfare wheel. And that's how we've done it in the past. We have never taken debt to do welfare. What Jagan has done is taken debt to do welfare. And he's created this vicious cycle. Now he's raising taxes. He has raised power prices. He has raised RTC charges to pay out that debt. And he's pushing people more into poverty.
Tell me this. You've also spoken about a capital for Andhra Pradesh, right? Talk about that. If you're able to form the government, what happens?
I mean, I'm smiling because it's quite sad where Andhra today is. One state, one capital. But with the current administration, they want to create 3 capitals with 3 different things. So one is legislative, judicial capital, and one is where the government officers will end executive capital, as they call it. See, Telugu Desam Party stand is very clear. One state, one capital, decentralized development. All parts of state should equally develop with the capital city. And if you look at it, we had very zone-specific plans. So Kia automotive sector going to places like Anantapur, electronics manufacturing going to a district like Chittoor. So we have a very clear roadmap. We wanted to create the entire ecosystem and create a lot of local jobs. And this has worked in the past for us. We have done it. We have shown it. But here is a man who's incapable of developing one capital, and now he wants to develop 3 capitals. And that's the irony of the entire thing. So our stand is very clear: one state, one capital, but we will definitely decentralize development.
And that one capital is going to be Amravati. If
Absolutely,
you have a chance,
one capital that's going to be Amravati.
Okay, so you speak about this, but first you have to, of course, win the election that is now just a few months away. How is the partnership? Talk a little bit about the partnership with Pawan Kalyan.
So Pawanji and Telugu Desam Party have come together during the toughest times. When Mr. Naidu was in judicial remand, he wanted to meet Mr. Naidu, and both of them met. And there was a meeting of minds and hearts, and it was quite clear that together we should fight against this tyrant administration. Even Pawanji is a victim of this administration. If you look at it, he wanted to come to conduct a meeting, and his jet was not given permission to take off under the guise of that he'll create law and order problem. Then he came by road, and then he was stopped at the border for close to 3 hours. Pawanji had to sleep on the road to get his way into the state. So that is the kind of victimization that we're all going through in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So we have come together, we have done various dharnas together, and tomorrow is the first time that Pawanji, Mr. Naidu, and I would be on the same dais addressing the state of Andhra Pradesh.
Let me ask you this. A few years ago, you famously said, Jagan Reddy has a fan, which is, of course, his party symbol, but the switch is controlled by the BJP, and the regulator is controlled by KTR. Now, 2 years is a long time in politics. Today, there is talk that your party could align again with the BJP. You have made phone calls before KTR and BRS lost the elections to KTR, it was reported. So let's talk a little bit about politics. Do you see yourself able to join hands with the BJP again? There have been meetings that have taken place. Is that a possibility?
No, the meetings that I've had with the Honorable Home Minister was purely to explain the current status of the cases against Mr. Naidu, and
Okay.
with the documents to showcase that this is nothing but regime revenge. Number one.
Hmm.
Number two, our fight is against Jagan, and we are very clear on it. Anyone who wants to join on the fight against Jagan are more than welcome, and we wish that more people come and join and fight against him. That's number two. My outreach to Ram KTR is very clearly on the fact that when sympathizers of Mr. Naidu were protesting in Hyderabad peacefully, false cases were foisted against them. So I reached out to Ram saying, please don't do that. It's very unfair to do that. These are all IT professionals, and all of them have been beneficiaries of Mr. Naidu's erstwhile policies. And that was my reach out to Ram. And see, politics apart, we continue to be, friends. We continue to have talking terms. So politically or policy-wise, we may disagree, but personally, we have nothing against each other.
But let me come back to the BJP first. You said that you met with the Home Minister only to put your case forward about the corruption allegations against Chandrababu Naidu, your father. And you've also said that anyone ready to fight Jagan is welcome. You have been a member of the NDA and then you have left the NDA. Today, do you see yourself in the near future becoming a member of the NDA again?
I mean, as of today, the question is very hypothetical. It's not clear. So if you look at us as a Telugu Desam Party, we and Sena together want to fight. And our fight is against an administration that is not letting voice come out. So we will continue to fight. And I think that's our priority number one for us. So anyone who's willing to stand with us and fight against this administration, we welcome them to be part of this journey.
That's not a no. I know it's hypothetical, but that's not a no.
So if people are willing to come and fight against this administration together, I think it's unfair for me to tell them no.
But what have you picked up from the BJP?
Today,
Okay, but
today,
what have you picked up from the BJP? What have you picked up? What are the signs and signals you're picking up from the BJP?
Well, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
What?
We are just fighting against the government, and my interactions with BJP has been purely on the related to the regime revenge case. That's the false cases that are being foisted against Mr. Naidu, and that's been my only interaction with the Honorable Home Minister.
Did the Honorable Home Minister and you not get a chance to discuss politics at all beyond the corruption allegations and the case you presented to him?
No, absolutely not. No such conversation took place between us.
Okay. Finally, let me ask you, you're a Stanford grad. Today, you're in the heat and dust of the padyatra. You have ruled yourself out as a possible chief minister, even if your party were to win. Why is that?
No, Mr. Naidu is the chief minister. He's a chief minister candidate. I truly believe in his leadership, and the state has lost its way. And it's very important that we need a person of experience, caliber, to lead the state from the front. And his experience is required more than ever today to bring the state back on track. So I have done my bit to strengthen his leadership. For whatever worth it is, 1%, 2%, I've done my bit to strengthen his leadership. And my agenda is very clear that Mr. Naidu should be the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. And this path is purely aimed at, one, understanding the problems of the public. Two, is to reinforce the leadership of Mr. Naidu.
If I were to talk to you, let's say, the day after the elections, where do you think your party will be?
Oh, we will sweep the state. No second thoughts about it.
And what gives you this confidence?
I mean, we have taken a target. Oh, look, there's humongous unrest among the people in Andhra Pradesh. I mean, every section of society is coming in big numbers. I mean, it's come to a stage where people are like, please stop welfare, please do development, please lay roads, give us 24-hour power, reduce power prices, reduce essential commodity prices. There is humongous unrest among, people from across the society, every walk of society. They are completely disillusioned with this government, and they're very clear that they want this government out.
And you're clearly confident that Chandrababu Naidu will weather the storm of the corruption allegations?
Barkha, it's fake cases. These are merely allegations. There's no proof. I mean, let's put things in context, right? Mr. Naidu was the chief minister of a combined Andhra Pradesh for 10 years. Cyberabad was his brainchild. If he was so money minded, back then when an acre of land was worth 1 lakh, he could have purchased 1,000 acres. He never did it. He never bothered about it. He believed in creating wealth for the people of the state and distributing that wealth back to the poor and bringing people out of poverty. That's been his agenda. I mean, Mr. Naidu doesn't need to go to skill development or XYZ to do, such meaningless corruption. He doesn't need to do it. That's not his legacy. I mean, you've known him better than me. You've seen him in politics. He's never done it. He's always been about the public. He's always been about his state. He's always been about his nation. And that's why he's admired by people across the world.
Well, as I said, the court will have the final word on that. Let me conclude by asking you. I did ask you about the BJP. I haven't asked you about the non-BJP parties. There are many non-BJP parties that have come together in India Alliance formation, grouping. Is that something you're open to? Leaders like Jagan, Reddy have remained, they say, equidistant, but quite soft on the BJP. They have often voted strategically in parliament. What is your view on the state of national politics today?
See, Andhra Pradesh with 25 MPs has a role, but a limited role to play in national politics, number one. Number two, we definitely need the support of the central government and the dispensation that's in power to get us out of the challenges that we face, because the current government has racked up close to 12 lakh crores of debt. So we definitely need a support, and even the centrally sponsored schemes would be required. And even the bifurcation promises that were made to the state, quite a few of them are still pending. So we definitely need a positive dispensation in the center that will definitely, handhold during these tough days of a new state.
All right, Nara Lokesh, we will let you get back to planning your big rally. Thank you for talking to us. We will be in touch. And as they say, watch this space. Many things can happen between now and the time that elections actually take place. And I didn't hear you say no to a lot of questions, not yes either. And that is what makes politics so interesting. Thank you very much. Take care and see you soon.
Thank you for having me, Barkha. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Mojo Story has always made a commitment to its viewers to go to where the story is. And as you can see here, we are at the epicenter of the Israel war on Gaza. We are right at the front line, about 1 mile from the Gaza Strip, as the Israeli military gets ready with its tanks and its gunners to begin its final frontal assault that will take troops into Gaza. As we said, we are not like other organizations. We believe in giving you all sides of the story objectively and as much as possible from the ground. And that's exactly what we're doing here, covering the biggest global story today from the epicenter of the war zone. So please, we need your support. Support us, become a Mojo member, subscribe to us, spread the word, and thank you for your support.